to have you here for another Sarah National session. We look forward to doing these weekly as we all continue to just be enriched by some incredible speakers each week. My name is Jenny Anchondo, and I serve as the kind of host and moderator of these sessions. My goal for this is that you leave here feeling fully educated and informed on the topic at hand. And today's speaker is someone we have heard from before, but she's speaking on a new topic. So if you're not familiar with her, I'll share her bio, but I want you to get excited about this topic because it's one that we can all really learn from. No matter where we are in our career or in our professional journeys. And the topic is work smarter, not harder. And it's part 1 of 2. So Claudia Herrmann is somebody who is truly incredible and somebody who can speak to this because she's had so many different transformations in her own career. In fact, we owe her a big congratulations because she is the new Director of Minority Outreach for the Grand Prairie Chamber of Commerce. I know that a lot of you are watching from all over the country, but Grand Prairie is in North Texas, where I happen to be as well. So it's very exciting. When you heard from her last, you remember her as the national chair of MEP, and then the CVO and managing chair of USA MEP Foundation. So it was a national, or it is a national Latino business 501c3 nonprofit that was formed in 2012 to promote Hispanic businesses and professional women. So a lot of what she did there is what she's going to be doing in this new professional realm. So really, what she has done is provided educational tools to help Latina women who want to start their own businesses or grow their existing businesses or simply want to achieve personal growth. So she's really made a career out of helping people do this. So I think it's so wonderfully aligned that she's here with us today. She's also a lawyer licensed to practice throughout Mexico. Claudia Herrmann was actually born in Mexico City, and so sometimes she's there, sometimes she's here in the US. She happens to be in the US with us today. She specialized in franchise and distribution law. In addition to this, and you're going to understand why she's somebody who can speak to the working smarter, not harder, because of all the things she's accomplished. She's a certified business coach and helps clients with their businesses, international trade, contracts, intellectual property. She also is a renowned speaker, giving conferences, seminars, courses, and workshops. She is a motivational speaker. She has been a journalist, a columnist for various different publications, and she has a lot to get to today. So I don't want to take up any more of Claudia's time. Claudia, take it away, and congrats again on the new job.
Well, thank you so much. I am really excited about this. And I mean, such a nice presentation. I mean, it's like, oh my God. But anyway, yes, today I want to talk to you about working harder and not smarter. And I'm going to set up here my PowerPoint. And the thing is this, I've talked to so many people and they say, oh my God, the day only has 24 hours and I need at least 25, if not 40, to accomplish what I need to do. So the thing is working on your goals and working not only on not only on setting the goals, but also most importantly on getting to them and accomplish what you want to do. And I will give you, aside from the huge presentation that Jenny made, thank you very much for all this. I want to share a little bit what I did from 2012 to 2019. I ran, as you mentioned, Jenny, a MEP and a MEP Foundation. And I was teaching a lot of classes. I organized events. I had women-focused events. And then we all know what hit us in 2020. And I call it my year of languishing because my life, and I'm sure everybody's life, came to an abrupt halt. So everything that I had set out for myself suddenly came crashing down. It was absolutely horrible. And back in 2021, I said, okay, I mean, this pandemic is not going away. So I started working on new goals. Okay, so my world is different. My business has suffered. Of course, the activities of the foundation, the educational part of it, all that came to a screeching halt. And then, of course, in 2022, as we were seeing, okay, now we have vaccines, now we have tests, now we can slowly but surely reintegrate into the world. I set out my goals for this year, and I wrote them back in January of this year. Well, guess what? A week and a half ago, the former director of minority outreach left her job. Well, she quit a little bit before, but she proposed to the president of the chamber, who actually knows me from way back, that I would be a good fit. And they offered me the job. And well, I considered it and I said, well, yes, I mean, actually, I can do even more here at the chamber than what I did with my own organization. So this is how I ended up here. And it's very interesting because I had set out all these goals, and now I have to reshift and work on completely different goals. Some of them, yes, are aligned, but some of them are not. And I want to give you all a part which is practice and a part which is theory. So the way I see a goal is an idea or a desire to achieve a result in the future. But in order to achieve something, we have to set our goals. And here are some quick examples. For instance, I mean, this is a grandmaster of Taekwondo. And another goal can be I want to travel the world. Why not? I mean, I want to go to Africa and I want to see wildlife, or I want to buy my own house, or I am tired of being in the corporate world. I want to start up my own business, or I just want to be happy for a change because what I'm doing is not fulfilling. So these are all, I mean, goals that we can have. And there's, of course, at least a million more goals that we can set for ourselves. But the thing is this, when we have a goal, when we know how to structure our goals, we have a guideline to follow. And you have to have a goal if you really want to get where you want to go. Because, and this is a favorite phrase that I coined, if you don't know where you're going, you're already there. And I've always put this in my presentations. You've seen it, I'm sure. Those of you have repeated. And to me, like having just an idea, but not having a goal, is like setting out, sailing on a ship. And then what you end up doing is you just end up moored somewhere. So the benefits of having a goal is that they clear your path, they give you direction, you actually end up motivated. When I started writing out my goals back in 2021 and this year, it's like, okay, well, I want to do this. Oh, yeah. And then I motivated myself. And I'm going to share this with you. They gave me purpose, they gave me joy. I was enthusiastic about something, I was satisfied. And of course, once you have a goal and you start working on it with a method, you also have a better performance. And it's not just, okay, now I'm going to do this, now I'm going to do that. You actually know exactly what to do. So, this is theory. Um, the types of goals that we can set for ourselves is a lifetime goal, long-term goals, short-term goals, and immediate goals. And here are the timelines for all the goals that you are seeing in the presentation. And to give you just an example of one person who was awesome about achieving what he wanted and working consistently on his goals is the first Latino astronaut. He's Mexican American. His name is Jose Hernandez. And he told me a story that or us, I mean, I was at a conference. He told us all a story that really impacted me. He said he was a little boy, maybe 6, 8 years old, and he was looking up to the stars. And he said, I want to go to the stars. Well, how do you go to the stars? You have to become an astronaut. How do you become an astronaut? Okay, you have to first go to school. That means grade school, middle school, high school, and of course, college and then university. So he ended up studying engineering, and he graduated at the top of his class. And then, of course, came, the process of, okay, how can I work for NASA? He applied at least 12 times. And every time he was rejected. And he said, I'm not going to give up. So what he did is he got feedback. Okay, what am I lacking? What did I do wrong? What do I need to improve so that in the next round of applications, I can actually pass the application test and get in? Well, finally, he got it right. He got admitted, but that doesn't mean that he automatically gets admitted as an astronaut. So, out of, I think he said like more than 10 people who applied in the initial rounds to become a part of NASA, then finally, when he got in, he had to compete against other 100 people to be admitted to the space program. So then he had to prepare himself and do postgraduate studies and do a lot of more things to, to reach that goal. And then the training, of course, the physical shape that you have to be in. And finally, what hit the spot for him and where he got to be an astronaut was back then, the Russians and the Americans were not on a war path like right now. They were working together at the International Space Station. So he said very smartly, okay, I have to study Russian because that way I can communicate well with all the other ones, the Russians that are up there. Well, that made it, and that's how he became an astronaut and got to go to space. So this is a very clear example of how if you are consistent and you work towards your goals, you are going to achieve them. So the lifetime goals speak to your internal needs. They speak to who you are, the love life that you have, and that means starting with loving yourself, your family, friends, spirituality, and then your external wants, which is your appearance, your social status, or you want to be famous and have a lot of wealth. Here's an example. She's one of my favorite singers, by the way, Rihanna. So this is an example of a lifetime goal. Now, the path to success means that you have all these disorganized elements, and then you have to go through the process and then checking things until you finally achieve what you want to achieve. And there is a method that's called FRAME, and it stands for fantasize, reality, aim, method, and evaluation. So I'm going to talk a little bit about every one of these aspects. Okay, fantasizing means the goals have to match your values. And I'm going to, and later on, I'm going to do a very short visualization exercise with you all. And I hope you repeat it when you do it on your own time. And it speaks to who you are as a person. So that means, okay, what are my leadership qualities? And leadership doesn't mean that you have to be the president of the United States, please. It means, am I leader of my own life? Am I leader of my family? Am I leader with respect to my coworkers or my company's employees? Transparency and everything that you see here, but I'm going to touch just on a few of them because we don't have that much time. But how open am I as a person? We all have what I call a BS detector within our DNA. And whenever we find someone who's not transparent, who has something to hide, we sense it and we automatically dislike that person. We will never tell them, maybe, but we'll stay away from that person. So we just push them away. Honesty is also a very important value, and integrity. More than honesty, it's, our integrity. What do I bring to the table as a person? How am I today a better person than I was yesterday? And then, of course, then there's the other things that are secondary but equally important, like being responsible to our environment. We're killing our planet. And I'm not a political activist or anything, or anything like that. But we have to be a little bit mindful of protecting our environment. What is our service vocation? How do we focus on people? How do we interact with people? I always tell when I'm giving classes or when I'm talking to my audiences, I tell, please, I mean, start with a smile. If you smile, the world smiles with you. Yes or no? Please. I mean, absolutely, yes. So And of course, do everything in a legal way. Now, the reality is you have to work smartly on getting where you want to be, but that doesn't mean that your goals have to be small. So my favorite example is Elon Musk and Tesla. This is a dummy that he put in outer space on one of his Teslas. He sent it on his rocket ship. So did he aim big? Absolutely. Was he completely unrealistic? Absolutely. I mean, who would think about having a rocket that actually comes back to Earth and lands on its legs and then can be reused? Up until now, I mean, the rockets are just part of the junk that's surrounding our planet. So, this is something that you have to bear in mind. Aim high. I'm going to walk you through this little envisioning exercise. It's just 1 minute. But I want you to please close your eyes, take a deep breath like this. And I want you to think about where you want to be in the next 3 years. The thing is this, when we when we think into the far future, we can think big, but when we think about the next year, we always think in small terms. So think big. Where do you want to be? Do you want to take the trip of your lifetime? Do you want to start your own company? What do you want to do? And put a color to it. Let it come from your heart. Just think of something that you absolutely love. It can be a person, it can be a pet, it can be a thing. Put a color to it and let that color get into your heart and then into your body. Now think what you want to do in the next 3 years and write it down after this exercise. And now continue envisioning what you want to do, who you want to be in the next year. In May of 2023, where do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? Okay, slowly open your eyes. Take another deep breath. You'll feel refreshed, invigorated. Okay. Now, I want to guide you through this, or I did want to guide you through this exercise because although we just had a minute or a little bit more, I want you to do this every morning. And it can be a repeat goal. I mean, where do I want to see myself in the next 3 years and then in the next year? And this is a part of an exercise that actually has 6 phases. Now, one thing is you aim big, you aim to the stars. But the other thing is the method. You have to narrow the goals to the ones you really want to accomplish. And here we're going to teach you the methodology of all of this. Steve Jobs and somebody else came up with a BSQ method, which means think big, which is what Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and a lot of these people did. Then act in in small paces. You know, just break it down into doable parts and then move quick, which means you have to put a sense of urgency into your goals and what you want to accomplish. And the thing is this is something that made me personally think when COVID hit. I had no certainty in 2020 if I would come out of that year alive. And I think that goes for absolutely everybody. Or if we do come out alive, but we got COVID, there's so many people that have been affected by long COVID and they're really sick. So the next part of it is evaluating all the time. You know, you set your goals, put them in writing, of course, And then you start evaluating yourself. This is just an exercise. Okay, this is what I wanted to do. Here is where I am. And you can shift. This is absolutely valid. The way I see it is like you have to give clarity to your ideas, and actually writing things down and using this methodology will help you with that. And something that I recommend, I have a mentor, and I recommend coaching, taking coaching sessions. Why? Because the coach will untangle all your myriad ideas that you have. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I need to do that. Oh, I have this idea. And then a lot of things pop up. And what they help you is just, okay, break it down and let's work on one part after the other. So now I want to talk about the qualities of your goals. They have to be, yes, unrealistic. I mean, most of them say, okay, you have to be realistic. No, I mean, it's aim high, be unrealistic, and then they have to be measurable. That is a fact. I mean, you have to measure yourself. One thing is that you want to go to the stars, and then the other thing is, okay, how am I going to get there? And then review. You have to review what you did. And there's another methodology that's called SMART. And SMART stands for specific, and you can read it off here. And please feel free to take a screenshot or take a picture with your phone. Measurable, because you have to track what you do. They have to be attainable. Within the realm of the unrealistic, of the aiming high, you have to be able to attain it. And then that is the next phase. Then you be realistic. And this is a little bit after all this. And you have to give yourself a deadline. Because if you go with okay, someday I'm going to do this, well, that someday, chances are it will absolutely never, ever happen. Now, there's the 5 W's. It's the who, the what, the where, the when, and the why. And I'm going to talk, I want you to write down, who are you going to accomplish your goals with? Who is necessary in your project that you will need to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish? Then the what, the where, the when, and the why. Please write it down. Okay. Now, with respect to measuring, one thing you need to do is write down the tasks that you have to uh, get into and accomplish to measure your level of success and accomplishment. Then the schedule. You have to schedule your activities. Then your system for reviewing whatever you want to accomplish. You have to have a reward system. Once you accomplish, it can be a stepping stone, or it can be a goal within the goal, or the entire goal. Yourself, you have accomplished something. So pat yourself on the shoulder. What I do is I stand in front of the mirror in the morning, and whenever I have done something that I'm okay with, that I'm proud of, I talk to myself and I said, Claudia, today I'm proud of, and then 3 dots. Please do that. It will make you feel so much better. And do it every day, even if it's the same thing every day. And then you have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive the people who have done you wrong. And you can start with the small things. You don't have to start, oh my God, I mean, a horrible example, but my husband left me for, a newer model. No, I mean, start with the smaller things and then go and forgive the bigger things. And remember, it's not about them, it's about you. And what I have found is the most difficult thing to do is forgive myself. So you have to work on that. And envision that you are first accusing, let's say, a person who has done you wrong. You're accusing that person. Okay, you did this. You can actually even point the finger. And then you say, 1 minute, just 1 minute. Okay, I forgive you. You don't even have to think about that person asking for forgiveness. Remember, it's about you and clearing that energy of anger, of distrust, of lack, of everything negative that that person did to you, okay, or yourself. I mean, and you have to work on that. Then, on the achieving part, how can you accomplish your goals? And yes, you aim high. I already said that. But then focus on the possible within those little parts of that aim. And then also, you have to think and write down your resources. So let's say you want to start a huge business. Let's say you want to buy, I don't know, a franchise of, I don't know, hamburger franchise. Okay, you know that that is an investment of at least $100,000, right? Okay, if I don't have that money, how am I going to get that money? Or if this is my high goal, then how can I start a business that's not exactly buying a franchise, but that can lead me towards that high goal of the franchise so that I can save the money until I hit the exact amount of money that I need to buy my franchise. I'm just giving you an example. Now, the realistic breakdown that you have to do is do your research. I work with aspiring business women, especially, and I always tell them in my, especially my business plan trainings, you have to do your research. You have to know who your target audience is, who your target market is, who your competition is. So this is just an example. What practical requirements do you need to have? And what are your personal limitations? Yesterday, I was talking to a beautiful lady, and she had a very successful industrial cleaning business, and she was with her crew cleaning. Well, her entire spine is shot. She has a spine of she told me a 75-year-old woman, and even though she's not even 40 years old, so she cannot bend down, she cannot lift things anymore. So she said, I have to do something completely different, and I don't know what, because I mean, cleaning was my life. And I said, okay, I mean, why don't we talk and we can try to envision something else where you can build upon your experience and your expertise, but where you can make a shift to a business where you can sit down, maybe work from your computer. So you have to work with your personal limitations. For me, for instance, I would never be an accountant or anything that has to do with numbers because I mean, I'm just an idiot when it comes to numbers. And I know my limitations. Well, yeah. Sorry, that's a personal thing, but I'm good at something else. And so are you. You're bad at something, you're good at something. You have to also work with your external obstacles. Okay, you want to start a cleaning business using this example. Well, there are probably just here in the DFW Metroplex, there are probably 10,000 cleaning businesses. So that's a huge competition. What will set you apart? And we're going to talk about your unique value proposition at a later stage. So you have to set a deadline and a timeline. So that those are two completely different things. A deadline means, okay, this is May 19th of 2022. No, yeah, May 19th, 2020, I'm sorry. And then my deadline is, let's say, a year from now, May 2023. But then there's a timeline. This is, okay, today I'm starting with my work, and this is what I am going to do. Then, of course, we all procrastinate, and I am a master procrastinator. I have to be very honest about that with you. So I mess around a lot. Okay, so I give myself a time for messing around. And then, of course, I mean, it doesn't really happen that much to me, but it has happened because I am a procrastinator. Well, then I get into the panic mode and then I get frantic and I work through the night and all that. And then I complete my deadline. So, yeah, maybe I end up crying, but I did all the work. So, this is a funny example. You don't please don't follow that. I mean, work on your timeline. Okay, set a timeline for every one of the steps that you will be taking. Okay? And then the smart model actually has an ER to that, and that is evaluating your work. So you have to be accountable with yourself. And that means, this is a repetition, put everything in writing. Check your progress at regular intervals. And you have to be very honest with yourself. Okay, I didn't accomplish this, but I did accomplish that. How am I accomplish what I did not accomplish? And then the R means readjusting. That means resetting, refocusing, because even though we might have, let's say, the best business plan in the world, well, for instance, I had a nice business plan that I was working on with my foundation and also with my business, but then COVID hit. I mean, nobody could have foreseen what happened 2 years ago. Absolutely not. So I had to readjust and refocus and reset a lot of things. And one of the things is I did all my trainings in person. Well, I mean, I had to learn how to use Zoom or WebEx or whatever real fast. So this is one of the things that you have to factor in, and you have to do it as often as necessary. And with respect to goal setting, I mean, I talked about long term and short term and whatnot goals, but I also want you to focus on your 7 zones. And which are those zones? That's a personal zone. Then you have your family zone. You have your work zone. It can be your business, of course. Then your social and community zone, your spiritual zone, which is very important. All of them are important. And of course, your financial zone. So you need to have goals in for each of these zones. So what I'm going to do now is also talk about your why. It's not just, okay, I want to do this because, I don't know. I want to start a franchise because I want to have a lot of money. That's not a good why, really. I mean, I had a training about the Ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese term, and in French it would be the raison d'être, your reason for being. So you have to start with those steps back and say, okay, why am I on planet Earth? Why was I born into this world at this time and in this country? And why am I here? What am I going to do? So maybe the big why is I want to leave this world. We're all going to die. Sorry. I mean, bad news. It's going to happen to all of us. We just don't know when. But when I die, I want to leave this world a better place than when I came into this world. That is a big why for me. And that is why I work with the community. That is why I'm working with you. Because for me, this is a big reason for my being here on planet Earth. It gives me a deep sense of purpose. Okay. And I want you to think about that why for you. What is your why? It can be your family. I want to be the best parent for my children. I want to be the best pet parent for my furry children, whatever it is. Make it worthwhile. This is why I wake up every morning before 6 o'clock and I say, okay, today I'm going to do this. And I wake up with a smile. Please do that. No matter how bad your bad day was, you came home and I don't know, maybe one of your family members was cranky and they were telling you God knows what. And you reacted to that bad mood. Okay, when you wake up, smile to yourself again. If you smile, the world will smile back at you. Okay, so your why is your reason why, and please write them down now. I'm going to give you a minute for that. Okay, and I also want you to set your goals 1 minute for your personal life, your family, your work life, your social and community life, your spiritual life, your finance, and your health. And please feel free to take a screenshot or a picture of this so you can have that reference and then you can expand on it. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you about the types of goals according to your activities. So you can have performance goals and they can be individual. Like, for instance, I mean, you're at your workplace and you want to get a promotion. So what do you have to do to get that promotion? It can be like, for instance, getting certifications in your area of work. Or they can be organizational. Let's say you're in sales. Okay, you want to increase your sales quota, and that means you get paid a better salary or you get paid more commissions, whatever. Then for me, and this is very important, is my learning goals. What do I want to learn? And I don't mean learning only in the area of my professional activity or my work. And then that means the big goals, macro level goals. And this is very important, really important, your in action goals. Why did I put this here? Because we need to have a downtime. We need to have a time where our mind, our body, our spirit, and our emotions rest. And that means doing nothing. Or it can mean, just grabbing a book. And if you have like a kitty, like I have, I mean, put it on your tummy and read with your kitty. Or, I mean, it can be, yes, I mean, I log on and watch Netflix, whatever and in action or go on a vacation. Okay, so I want you to write all these goals down. Okay, motivating yourself. One of the things that sometimes it's a little bit hard to do is getting the motivation and the commitment that we have with respect to ourselves that lead to the achievement of our goals. So, one of the things that I did is write my personal statement. Because if you write your personal statement and it speaks to the core of who you are, that gives you really a higher level of purpose, of emotion. It energizes you every day. So here, I'm going to give you another minute. So you write down your personal statement. And here's some keywords that I put in for you that you can actually take as a reference, but write your own personal statement. So I'm gonna talk, and also I want you to write down your core values. What are your core values? Okay. So, for instance, for me, I didn't put it there in that graphic, but I considered myself to be a woman of magic. So I'm magical and I am creative and I am very powerful. That is what I wrote down for myself. So I'm sharing this very personal and intimate piece of me. And this is because your mission, you know, what you want to accomplish, like leaving for in my place, in my case, I'm sorry, leaving the world a better place than when I came into it. It aligns with my personal being, my sense, my core, and of course my mission and then my vision. So the mission is your core purpose as an individual. So if you work for a company, if you have a company, write also your mission statement of your organization. I know that this is something that most companies have, but what I found out when I talked to some of the CEOs, okay, what's your mission? They wrote it like 10 years ago and it's half a page long. And of course, they don't remember it. So make it sweet and short so that every time somebody asks you, what's your mission? You can say, okay, my mission is this. So I mean, my mission is to leave this planet a better place than when I came into it. Short, sweet, simple. Okay. It's a summary of your aims and core values. And then you can break it down. Okay. How am I going to leave this world a better place? Okay. I'm going to edify people. I want to work with women. I want to work with underserved and underprivileged women. And this is what I do, and this is what I have been doing for the last, well, actually 12 years or so. And it focuses on your now, your today. Now, vision is a little bit more thinking into the future. It's what do you bring to the table to make that mission possible? It's to think and visualize with imagination, with creativity, with your expertise, with your wisdom, everything that you have learned throughout your entire life. It focuses on the tomorrow. And again, it's aligned with your core values. And of course, your personal culture, your family culture, your community's culture, your state's culture, your country's culture, or even the world. You have traveled maybe the world and you have been in contact with other cultures and they enrich in your life. So write down your mission statement. This is very practical and make it actionable, please. And now I want you to write down your vision statement. And remember, this is aspirational. I know this is a hard one, right? Okay. This is very important. What is your unique, sorry, value proposition? What is it that makes you attractive to your community, to your family? If you have a partner in your life, to your partner, your coworkers, your employees, your social network, if you're religious, your church, I don't know, everything. So write down your unique value proposition. What do you bring to the table? And I know it's hard. This is, I mean, please continue writing this down. Mm. Okay. I'm sure I got you thinking by now. Okay, this is part one, and I'm done for today. But please feel free to ask me questions or make comments, and I'd love to hear back from you. What I want to accomplish with this is to get you thinking, and to get you thinking not only, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. I want you to get thinking about yourself as a person, and deep down inside you, what, who are you, who you are, what you bring to the table, and how you can improve your own life and improve the lives of those who are around you. So, thank you for today, and take it from here, Jenny.
Thank you, Claudia. Well, that was really wonderful. Got a lot of good responses from people, and I hope that everybody was doing this right along with us. That's the best use of your time. If you kind of saw the first thing and thought, I'm not going to close my eyes for that. I hope that you allow yourself, even if you skipped it this time and felt silly, sitting there with your eyes closed and doing the visualization. I hope that you allow yourself to continue on with the practice. And Claudia, I feel like you instituted a little bit of a challenge there, challenging us to do that
Mm-hmm.
visualization every single day. Walk us through what that would look like in a practical sense. Is it first thing in the morning? Is it at night? Is it whenever you have the time?
It's whenever. Sometimes, when I do it when I'm driving. I mean, you can meditate while you're driving, eyes wide open, focused on the traffic, but you can train your mind to do something else as well and be like a dual, you're focused on the traffic, you're this. You can do it at night in your downtime when you come home from work or whatever, or you can do it in the morning, first thing in the morning, sit on your bed, make yourself comfortable with a pillow or something, and then do a little envisioning exercise. Meditating doesn't mean anything religious. Meditating is just centering yourself. And I teach a centering exercise, which is very nice and it's very soothing for yourself. It prepares you to have a really excellent day. And it's about relaxing because oftentimes life is, it's just a whirlwind. It goes like, oh my God, this, especially when we're at work and we get so much input from everywhere. Everybody's on top of us. It's like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. Now, this is something for you to, just take a deep breath, like close your eyes, visualize, okay, I'm going to have a little bit more energy or a lot more energy, like say, I'm energized. And you say to yourself, and it's very powerful. See, I'm very tired today because yesterday I came home around 1 o'clock in the morning and today I was up before 6. So, and I had to deal with numbers, which is something I absolutely hate. But anyway, I mean, I had to do some accounting stuff and whatnot. So anyway, you see me actually very much energized, and that is because I did my breathing exercises and my envisioning exercise every time when I work and when I start work. Okay, I visualize how do I want my day to go? How And this, I mean, what I did with you all is a very short part of a really big envisioning exercise. And this is something, it's a good practice for yourself. It keeps you focused on what you want and how to accomplish that thing that you want.
Now, talk us through this. If somebody's wondering, I don't even know what my core values are. I went to write them down and I felt like, I don't know, what are my core values?
Mm,
What's your recommendation or advice for them as they navigate that?
Actually, meditate on it. Take some quiet time. And this is a self-knowledge exercise. And for some people, it's very hard, or when you start out, it can be really hard. But it speaks to you at your most vulnerable when you're with yourself and you give permission to yourself to be absolutely honest, to be, figuratively speaking, naked. Okay, this is me. This is the real me. So your core values, I mean, these are related to your upbringing, of course, the family you were born into, the culture you were born into, school, of course, and everything that makes you you. And there is no right and wrong. Trust me on that. It comes from your heart. It comes from your within. So whatever comes to your mind when you write down your core values, that's what it is.
So that's interesting. So it's almost like if you got to the place where you were, and I see why you did this in a sequence, Claudia, where we kind of had that calm, peaceful time and then got into the finding of the vision statement. It's almost like if that's not coming to you, then you've got to reverse engineer and go back to that meditative space in the morning, right? Like figure
Yes,
out
yes.
who am I? Because it's hard to, you can't make goals without knowing who you are. Isn't that true?
Absolutely. I mean, and I had to dig into myself and real be brutally honest with myself about who I am and then work on my core values. And then from there go, okay, what's my mission in life? And what vision do I have for that mission in my life? And it can change. Absolutely. I mean, when you're in your 20s, you're not the same person as when you're in your 30s and 40s and 50s and so on. You know, when you're 20, well, maybe finishing school is really important. And then your career, starting your work life or starting your business. When you're in your 30s, of course, family. Oh, okay. I want to have a family. How am I going to accomplish that? For some people, it's not. I don't want to have anything to do with a family. I want to travel the world. Okay, how am I going to do that? And then your 40s, okay, your life changes and shifts very much in your 40s. And so on and so forth. And then yes, you can envision, okay, how do I want to get old? Because you will get old unless, I mean, of course, you die sooner, but the goal is to get old, right? We don't want to die in our youth. We have
Yes, the
so
goal
much to
is to get
do.
old. I
Yeah,
totally agree. I totally agree. The goal is to get old. What a treasure and a blessing to be able to grow old.
but
Claudia, I
how?
want to make, yes, but how? Yes, but how? I want you to hear some of the kind messages that people have sent in, saying this is such valuable information, and also thanking you for your transparency, especially about the procrastinating and forgiving yourself. Sounds like people are really valuing that, because when somebody's on here as a speaker, we really look up to them. And sometimes you can think, oh, well, they don't have the same problems as me. They must not procrastinate, but Claudia is just like us.
Absolutely. Yes, I mean, I want to share with you who I am because uh, I think that way we can relate better, all of us. And because I have gone through real big obstacles myself in my life to be where I am, and everybody will face obstacles sooner or later. Life is not linear. Life is not just a continuum and it goes like this. It has lots of ups and lots of downs. So we have to work with that.
Somebody's saying that you are very open and we can learn a lot from you. So they are doing that. Before we go, a word of advice for people who feel like, you know what, life is dealing me a bad hand. In their mind, they keep thinking, bad things keep happening to me. And you spoke about how our mind can be malleable and we can help to reformulate. What would be the first best step for that person?
Well, first of all, is the mind is so powerful. You have to bear in mind that we can heal ourselves with our mind and we can make ourselves sick with our minds. It's that powerful. I mean, it's literal, a literal truth that our mind can move mountains. So if life has dealt you a bad hand, and I've had that too. I mean, I've lost 4 people in 1 month in 2020, starting with my mom, and I couldn't be with her. So that was a really bad hand. But what did I do with it? I mean, yes, I was depressed, but then how did I get out of that depression? Well, I started being thankful. You know, we can have a horrible boss. Let's say our boss is the absolutely most horrible person in the entire planet. Okay, I have to deal with that horrible person, but that's not me. They do what they do because they have issues, to put it nicely. They have been hurt themselves, and that's how they hurt other people. So, one thing is not to take things personally. They just do what they do. And you can create a mental barrier. You know, it's just figuring it out. It's making the envisioning exercise. Okay, forgiving that person. And then forgiving yourself for harboring horrible thoughts about that. Okay, I wish him dead. I wish her dead. Right? Mm-hmm. We've all had that. I mean, myself included. Well, we forgive them and then we forgive ourselves for those horrible thoughts. And then the next step, of course, is making a creative visualization of, okay, I'm not going to be at this job stuck forever. So, what am I going to do to change jobs or to start my own business or do something completely different with my life? I mean, maybe just, and there are people who have done that. They just leave everything behind and go somewhere else. So, and it has worked for them. I've known those people. So, it's up to you, but it's about you, not about them.
It's up to you, Claudia. That's a perfect way to end it. And I want to remind everybody that this was part 1 of 2. So thank you, Claudia, for your time. You have been wonderful, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the session. I got to do my own notes and my own minute of meditation. So thank you so much for the time today.
Okay, well, thank you. Oh, there's somebody. Can we go back and watch this? I don't know. I mean,
Yes.
please contact her. Oh,
Yes. So
yeah, it's going to be posted on YouTube, right?
yes, exactly. So I'll give the rundown for you guys. Thank you for joining us for this session. This session will be posted by next Wednesday. So I bet you have somebody on your mind that you're thinking, gosh, my friend, my spouse, my cousin, my mom, my child could benefit from this session. It's going to be a great one to share with people and also to watch on the replay to really get in deep and spend that time going through with some of these goals and learning how to goal set like this. So yes, Terry, you can go back and watch this on Sarah's YouTube channel, which is actually posted in the chat. There you can see more on Sarah's programs and then also the YouTube channel. And then I look forward to seeing you all back here with Claudia, same time, same place next week for part 2. Talk to you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.
And thank you. Love you. Bye.
Bye.